planes in the sky are a common sight at Edwards Air Force Base. And while just watching the planes soar is enough for some, there are those who long to be pilots themselves. That longing can become a reality at the Edwards Services Aero Club located on South Base. Tim Taylor is one of the Aero Club flight instructors.
Well, the Aero Club serves primarily two purposes, one for flight instruction and then one for offering rental aircraft to eligible members. On top of that, we support some other base agencies, but everything revolves around teaching people how to fly and making aircraft affordable to those who are already certificated.
The pilot lessons are usually provided one-on-one with an instructor. The student's home computer also plays a role in the training.
Everything nowadays is, thanks to technology, instead of the old classroom setting where you'd sit down and you'd have an instructor teach you, maybe a whole ground school, and then you'd start your flight training. We utilize a Cessna training program out here where students take a packet of DVDs home and they watch a particular ground lesson on their own time, and then they complete a lab at the end of that lesson. And then whenever they've completed that lab, they'll come out and fly with an instructor on what they have just learned. And the instructor's there to facilitate what they learn at home and to fill in any gaps where the student might not have a complete comprehension of the material. But by doing it that way, it saves the student money and the instructor time, and they're able to do their ground and flight training simultaneously.
The Aero Club offers orientation flights to give potential students an idea of what it's like to be a general aviation pilot. Brian Sessman is an Aero Club flight instructor.
We'll do a couple touch and goes, climb up the altitude, do some turns, really show them the area. We'll come back, fly over the main base as much as we can, maybe even in a touch and go on the main runway.
The Aero Club, one of 22 clubs Air Force-wide, maintains and rents 6 single-engine aircraft. Former student and now licensed pilot Chuck Weisenseal recently rented an Aero Club plane.
This was the first trip that I took with my family cross-country. We wanted to go up see my sister in Sacramento area, so Friday afternoon I picked the airplane up and flew it. We live in Tehachapi. I flew it myself up to Tehachapi and anchored it. And then Saturday morning one of my children had a soccer game. So we went to the soccer game and did a little refereeing, and at noon we went over to Tehachapi Airport, got in the airplane, and flew up to Sacramento where my sister picked me up and came back on Monday morning.
In addition to the lessons and aircraft rental, the Edwards Aero Club also supports programs at the U.S. Air Force Test Pilot School and for the Global Hawk. Pilot and club manager Connie Farmer explains.
The Test Pilot School has an engineering airman program that requires their engineers to put in time in the cockpit. So when they design a certain aspect of their program, then they can go out in the aircraft and actually see hands-on what that design does, how it works. And with Global Hawk, their pilots are required to maintain currency. Even though it's a remote control aircraft, they maintain currency the same as any other pilot licensed by the FAA would do.
Club members may store their personal aircraft on the Aero Club flight line, and visitors may also make arrangements to land at Edwards, a destination favored by many pilots.
After all, this is Edwards, and we're flying off of South Base, where a lot of aviation history was made. So a lot of people come out just for that, just to be able to log it and say they've flown out of South Base.
The Aero Club's office hours are Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. To find out more, call 275-AERO. Dawn Waldman, Edwards Air Force Base, California. This has been Dateline Edwards. If you have questions or comments, we'd like to hear from you. Please send us an email at channel.6@edwards.af.mil.